I'm gonna go get a beer really quickly, so I'll be right back.
You need a Smurfin' beer.
Shut the fuck up.
At least you get your Smurfin' beer.
There will be no Smurf puns in this goddamn review. None whatsoever. I could get you some, but no. I think I need it more than you. Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Big Bingy's Theory. We just got back from the fucking Smurfs 2. So as you may be asking, who is this right here? A woman right next to me. My God. Bingy actually talks to a woman. He actually is looking at a woman. It's not imaginary. It's not a blow-up doll. No. Yes, that's right. I have a girl right next to me.
Don't get excited, though. I'm just Bingy's sister.
Mm-hmm. A sister from another mother, or something. I don't even know.
Sister from another mister.
What the fuck ever.
Meanie?
So the reason why I have her here is for a couple of reasons. One, well, three actually. One, as I said, she is one of my best friends. Two, she is probably the second nerdiest girl I've met. I've met a few others, but she's like very close. She's about as big of a movie nerd as I am. And three, it's kind of a way to get me to get back at her for not being involved, or being involved, but we couldn't get the footage for. Back when I was doing Sam and Bingy's Hetero Movie Date, we wanted to do a review for Silent Hill Revelation in 3D, because it was one of the movies that was coming out, and we thought it would be good for a review.
I was supposed to be the expert on the movie, because
yeah,
I had played most of the games and had seen the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
But the order's out to get me, so the film didn't go through. Something happened with Sam's camera, and
we had everything. We had that all recorded. We had a good time recording it. It was just a way for us to vent after watching that piece of shit.
It wasn't that bad.
Oh, God, are you kidding me?
At least the monsters were good. The one with the mannequin monster was cool.
So you're saying that Pyramid Head being as like the little bitch that he was in
that movie. Did I say that? You know what? Stop. We're not. No, this is Smurfs night. This is not Silent Hill night. That's another night.
You're actually defending that movie.
I love Silent Hill!
You're defending that movie, which you yourself were groaning throughout the entire movie, but that's another...
I had to pee through half of it.
Oh my God.
What? Oh, I told you that! But you have to admit the graphics and the way they made the monsters was not that bad. Especially the mannequin monster. That was badass. The rest of the movie sucked.
It still doesn't change my mind about it. It still was not that good.
That's fine.
It was just fucking bad. Really bad. I mean, say what you will about the first movie, it's not Silent Hill Revelation. I would rather watch the first movie than ever to see that again. But that's besides the point. We're getting off topic here.
Smurfs night.
Smurfs. Originally I was going to see this by myself. But this woman here, bless her heart, she volunteered to help me to watch the movie with me. And
I regret it.
I think we both do.
I mean, I'll use almost anything as an excuse to get out of the house and hang out with my friends, but I can't even use this as an excuse.
You can't, really. You can't. You can't.
I mean, this is bad.
This I'll say this I'm not a fan of the Smurfs. I never really cared about the Smurfs to begin with. I saw them as like the cartoon that was before Tom and Jerry and all the other cartoons from the late 90s and Cartoon Network. It was there. I would every once in a while I will watch it, but I just wasn't really a big fan of it. And yeah, their theme song was really getting annoying, and I understand now why so many people find it grating. It's even funny that some of the characters in the movie actually don't find it amusing at all.
Right.
So, but I didn't see the first movie. You haven't seen the first movie. But really, from what I've heard from other people, it's the same fucking movie as the first one, which I can honestly say that I'm glad I never saw the first one. Because honestly, if you took out the 2 in this movie, you probably people could mistake this as the first movie. I'm pretty sure.
Take out the 2.
Yeah, if they take out the 2, it won't even matter.
What 2?
The Smurfs 2 title.
Oh, you mean okay?
Yeah, if they just take out the number 2.
That movie fried my brain. I'm sorry.
If they took out the number 2 for the title, then it wouldn't even matter if it was the same movie. But so yeah, this fucking movie was terrible. This was
the only way you could tell it was a second movie was the fact that the people had a kid.
I guess, but really the kid wasn't necessarily needed for this movie.
He was cute.
It's that typical kid that's always like, he doesn't say much of anything. He just goes, "Grandpa," or like, "Daddy," or "Papa Smurf." He would say that. That's it. That's that kid's only thing. And
he said duck once. Stop.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Okay, so the plot for this fucking movie, basically it's going by by the comic book's logic of the Smurfs, that Smurfette it's Smurfette's birthday. Mm-hmm. And she had a typical nightmare, which I guess happens to her every year or so, and she is afraid that she'll be back to that same old, that meanie that she was, but when she was created by Gargamel. She's afraid that she's going to go right back to being that thing, and the Smurf village was going to throw a whole surprise birthday party for her, and they weren't quite ready. So what they did was they were trying to hide it from her, try to hide the surprise party by acting like complete fucking assholes to her.
They didn't have to be dicks to her like that.
Exactly. And she was asking them like, hey, do you want to do something on my special day of all days?
They could have picked someone. Hey, go distract her while we finish doing this. No, how many Smurfs are in that fucking village to where they couldn't spare one Smurf to go and...
They act like complete fucking dicks.
You'll never guess what happens next, though!
They act like complete fucking dicks to her to a point where she feels depressed.
She thinks they forgot her birthday. We didn't see that coming at all.
And over the course of that time, Gargamel still is in Paris, which I guess that's where he was, like, from the last movie, I guess. I don't really care. He is now a world-famous magician.
I don't even think that was it, because the family had to go from wherever they were to Paris. Remember, because they were talking about updating their kid's passport? I wish I had money like that to just throw down to go to Paris.
Yeah, they never really say that. They actually...
No, they took the two... It was the two parents, the kid, and the grandpa. They all just, let's go to Paris! You know? I wish I had fucking money to do that.
I think you and everybody else wishes they could, but yeah, like, they just automatically can go. They have the money for it because they live in such a nice-looking hotel room. Of course they're fucking rich. Or whatever. Anyway. So Gargamel is a world-famous magician. He's selling out shows. He's in Paris.
How many times are you going to say he's in Paris?
Well, because that's where the whole movie is set. In Paris.
He's in Smurf in Paris!
But, He's
selling out shows. He's the world's most amazing magician. David Blaine ain't got shit on him. And, you know, he's living the life of luxury. His cat is living the life of luxury. They are living the life. But for some odd reason, they still need the blue Smurf essence to
open up, to, I guess, get infinite power or something, so he can rule the world, which he can already do already.
Already done that.
I mean, seriously.
Although, honestly,
everybody that went to his show are so fucking...
Nobody
fucking
questioned
dull.
his shit, by the way.
They didn't question anything. They didn't question the magic. They didn't question the fact that during the beginning of the third act of the film, he used his magic wand to push people out of the way in the line that's going to, like, the giant Ferris wheel in Paris. And they're being pushed out of the way and being forced to kneel before him against their own will, by the way. And they're laughing about it like they're thinking it's such a like they think it's all a fucking act. Nobody questions it. Nobody fucking questions it. Why? And they're all getting pushed away. Like, there is a part where the fucking movie where they get, like, two people get pushed away from a fucking carriage in the wheelchair.
It's because people don't care, okay? They're being amazed and mesmerized. It was just like in Burt Wonderstone. You know, Jim Carrey's character was like the Chris Angel guy or whatever. And he sat there and he did the absolute most morbid things to himself and called it magic, and people bought it. People don't care as long as they're amazed.
Well, at least that movie kind of had like a message behind it of old school versus new school kinds of magic. This doesn't have anything. This movie could have just been ended by 5 minutes.
It was extremely predictable throughout the whole thing. You see where it's going to, and then when it gets to where it's going to, you're like, oh, well, I know how it's going to end. And it ends exactly how you think it's going to end. You don't even have to sit there and say, spoiler alert. You know exactly what's going to fucking happen.
Yeah.
You know exactly what's going to...
But yeah, Gargamel wants more blue essence, so what he does is he has his other two experiments. I forget their fucking names. They're typical, like, emo-looking Smurf with the long hair and the blue highlight areas in the front and everything. And
the girl's name was Betsy, and the boy's name was Haggis.
Okay.
I liked Haggis. He was funny. I'm sorry. He reminded me of Ed from Ed, Edd and Eddy, and that's like my childhood. So
Ed had more fucking charisma than that guy.
This is true. Ed had a personality. This guy did, he was just dumb to be dumb.
Right.
I feel bad for him. He's a CG character, and I feel bad for him.
So they go. So yeah, they get to Smurf Village with the help of Gargamel, making a portal to Smurfville, and just so happens that Smurfette's where they get dropped off.
Gargamel doesn't go through the portal, by the way. He has to send Betsy down to go and retrieve Smurfette. Because the portal was small.
Yeah, and they kidnap Smurfette, bring her back, and...
which was way too easy, by the way.
pretty much. And Gargamel wants to extract her.
Wait. They're called the Naughties, right? And throughout the entire movie, I'm thinking, sounds like a fucking porn. I don't think this is appropriate for children. It does! They're called the Naughties. Okay, and then when you see the first little girl with her little highlights and her little skirt and her flashy little belt and a little tank top. I'm wearing a tank top. She looked like a hoe. Okay, you honestly thought that she belonged in a porn. The Naughties. Really? 5 people writing the script and they couldn't have come up with a better name? Or was that what they were called in the...
I guess that's what they were called in the comics. I don't care.
He just doesn't care anymore.
I don't. No, because people... so many people were saying, like, the reason why to watch this is for Neil Patrick Harris and everything. And you know what? Neil Patrick Harris is fucking awesome in real life. His character in this movie, I could not fucking stand. Disrespectful to a point where I just wanted to slap the fucking hell out of him.
We watched it in 3D, and every time I saw Neil Patrick Harris's face, I wanted to reach forward and bitch slap him,
Because his whole problem is that he has a stepfather who, I recognize that actor. I just can't think of his name, but he has a stepfather, and he's trying to get over the fact that his father left him.
His real dad left when he was very, very young, and his mom remarried, and the stepfather tried to be the father that Neil Patrick Harris never had.
Yeah.
That ungrateful little bastard.
He basically hates him because he blames his stepdad for almost everything bad that happens to him whenever his stepdad shows up. So
even though his stepdad showed up to his kid's friggin' birthday party with friggin' corn dogs and presents. Who would not want that for their kid? I have a daughter, okay? And if... I don't care for her father very much, but if he ever showed up to one of her birthday parties with corn dogs and presents, I'd be like, fuck yeah, it's a party. I mean, kids love that shit. But no, Neil Patrick Harris was like, what's wrong with you? Why are you even here?
Yeah, and I understand what they're trying to do with this whole thing. It was like the whole...
You'll never guess what's gonna happen next!
The whole movie is just about the whole... doesn't matter what family you have, as long as the family you have now is all fine and dandy.
It doesn't matter who made you. It's who you choose to be.
Who you choose to be.
Yeah, I think that was what they said.
Yeah, it's who you choose to be, and it's like Smurfette with Papa Smurf, Papa Smurf's the stepdad, and he's been there for her for everything, and she's questioning now, like, if the Smurf village actually loves her, or they'll still expect her.
Ungrateful little bitch!
And Neil Patrick Harris is doing the same thing with his stepdad, his stepdad is fucking, like, he's pretty cool in this movie. He loves his grandchild. He loves the woman that his stepson is with. He is trying to be there for somebody, and what Neil Patrick Harris is fucking just tossing him away like he's the fucking plague. It's fucking ridiculous. I'm not pulling for somebody like that. I'm sorry. Even if it is Neil Patrick fucking Harris,
and
I couldn't get behind him.
Even if he is trying to help the Smurfs, I don't care. He is rude and just downright mean, and it's completely inexcusable.
It really is.
Completely inexcusable. And people are like, well, he had such a traumatic past. It doesn't fucking matter. Okay, this guy never actually did anything wrong to Neil Patrick Harris. He didn't molest him or anything when he was a little kid. None of that. Okay, he was there for him the whole time when his own father wasn't. Ungrateful bastard. Ungrateful little bastard. What is so wrong with people?
I'm pretty sure, like, of the 5 people that wrote this script, I'm sure one of them had daddy issues like that.
It had to have been something.
Because we have to have a conflict that puts Smurfs and humans all alike in terms of emotion. I see what you did there, movie. I see what you did. You're a clever movie.
I see what
You're a clever movie. You're clever. You're so clever. Fuck you.
If you know what I mean. Sorry.
But yeah, this... In terms of children's movies, this is... This year of children's movies, this is definitely the worst. And it's by far one of the worst films I have ever seen. Or, not... No, actually, I take that back. It's one of the worst films I've seen this year. I would not say it's the worst film I've ever seen, because I have seen far fucking worse.
Birdemic.
That's so awesome, that's so bad, it's awesome. You have yet to have watched the phenomenon that is Birdemic.
You know, the thing about Smurfs, I just realized this, that even though it's trying to convey some kind of moral in the story, it shouldn't have to. This is shit that kids should know. When I was growing up, if I wasn't respectful to any of my elders, I was punished.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way it was.
Mm-hmm.
And kids should already know that. They shouldn't have to sit there and watch a Smurfs movie to fucking learn it. Learn your kids right.
The more you know. But yeah, what she said, I just couldn't get behind it. It's really bad when the only likable character in this entire movie is a fucking CG cat.
Azrael. He was cool.
He was probably the only logical person throughout this entire movie.
Oh, yeah, probably.
And it doesn't help the fact that just most of the people in this
I don't
are
know,
just
those
complete
storks?
fucking idiots.
No.
Or they can't hear anything past their own fucking hearing limit, because when you
They
have
just like to hear themselves
when
talk.
you have a huge Ferris wheel, the huge Ferris wheel that you've seen like in pictures of like going to Paris and everything, when you see the huge fucking Ferris wheel rolling by like a few blocks away from you, and you don't hear it, you don't hear the people screaming.
Right.
Well, actually, they were not screaming; they're cheering because they all think it's a fucking act from Gargamel.
No wonder so many people think the end of days are coming. What? It's true. It's like all this shit is happening, and it's
just
like
the way that
nobody
the movie. It's
cares.
just the way that I think that like they just look at us and they think we're just complete idiots.
They were idiots in the movie.
That's the way they portrayed in this movie as complete fucking idiots. And I understand this is a kids movie. We're not the target audience for this kind of movie. We're not.
They didn't have. I started that out wrong. They had a couple of cute one-liners in there. I really liked the Breakfast at Tiffany's joke they made. I thought that was cute. Because I like Audrey Hepburn, so it kind of got me. I liked it, but other than that,
it's understandable. But I'm sorry, you don't put Audrey Hepburn in the corner for fucking Smurfs 2.
This is true.
You can't do that. I'm sorry.
This is true.
You can't.
I didn't even look at it that way.
You can't. It's. I think it's a disrespect for me.
They just dissed Audrey Hepburn!
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, in terms of family films, this is probably one of the worst, probably the worst of this entire thing. At least Turbo had some kind of thing behind it.
I have not seen Turbo, by the way.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's another movie to just have your kid, like, sit in front and so he can shut the fuck up for a couple hours or so.
You're gonna think so differently when you actually have it.
I'm just saying is that it's a movie that this movie, Smurfs 2, it's a movie that little kids will enjoy. By far. They will have a blast with it. But
they won't hardly understand half of what's going on, though. They had some pretty adult situations going on there.
They did, but I think that's like there's, like you said, like you have to teach your kids like outside of it.
Yeah.
You can't show a child this movie and think that it's going to teach them anything.
Yeah.
Like with me, when I had kids movies, you know what kids movies I fucking watch when I was a kid?
The Lion King.
No, Mortal Kombat. I was seeing that shit, and then
I want to go back in time,
and also
I want your mom to be my mom.
And then there was also, the Tales from the Crypt series. There was the 2 movies, Demon Knight and Bordello of Blood. I was seeing a lot more tits than the usual kid at that age.
Wow.
I was seeing more of that before anybody else, even though I was not supposed to. I was watching an HBO animated show of Spawn, and that had tits and sex and everything. I was like 9 years old when I was watching that stuff. That's the kind of stuff I grew up with, and look what it made me into now.
Great going there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So, but yeah, like you said, it shouldn't take this kind of movie to teach your kids something like this about, accepting a stepfather who basically...
Like we said, the stepfather does nothing wrong. He takes really good care of him.
He does. And, yeah, like you said, this whole movie was just completely predictable. We knew what they were trying to do with this movie, and I'm sorry, it fails. It really does. If you want a smart kids movie, I would say watch the early Pixar films. Watch Paranorman, watch Coraline, watch those movies. Those are great kids movies that are great for kids and also for adults as well.
Like Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc. Hell, even Monsters University, because even that had a good grown-up message of, Mike Wazowski wanted to be a scarer, but he can't, and he doesn't. He doesn't become a scarer, but he pushes himself so far to become a scarer, and when he's told that he doesn't make it, and when he leaves, he still goes out and finds a job at Monsters Inc. as a mailman with the help of Sully. And then over the course of the time, they get upgraded to cafeteria people, and then over a year they get upgraded to taking the canister of Screams and everything, checking on them, and then they get upgraded to where they were in the first movie. That to me is a good fucking message to kids. Even if like the dream you can't get in that even if the dream you can't get in real life, you shouldn't still fucking give up. It still could be a depressing little thought, but that's the fucking brutality of life. And
you just have to keep pushing through it.
Exactly.
There are smart. You're never gonna get anywhere. You're never gonna get anywhere unless you go forward.
Yeah, and this movie just tells you something you should already know.
Should already know.
You should already love your stepfather. You should already be there for him.
Especially when he has done nothing wrong.
Exactly. I'm sure
that man gave and gave and gave.
Yeah.
And and what did he get in the end? A face full of Neil Patrick Harris just throwing him under the fucking bus.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, very unlikable characters. Like I said, the only person that we actually enjoyed was Azrael, the CG cat.
Oh, he was cute.
He was cute. He was. And he was like... he was the only logical person throughout this entire movie. It really was. So all in all, would you recommend this movie?
Oh, hell no. Oh, Smurfin', no!
Get the fuck out.
No.
Get the fuck out.
Make me.
I'm about this close to bashing this right in your head.
Have at. I'll forget about Smurfs, too.
There you go, people.
There you go.
I can't recommend this movie at all. If you want something to have your kids shut up for about an hour and 30 minutes, by all means have fun with it.
Was that really all it was?
What?
Was that how long it was?
It seemed like it. It seemed like a 2-hour movie.
No, I felt like I was there for fucking ever.
It kind of felt like that.
It kept acting like it was gonna be the end, and it just wasn't.
It just on.
Wasn't.
Yeah.
Never.
So, yeah, I can't recommend this movie at all.
Neither can I.
So, I hope you're happy with you volunteering for this movie.
I'm not.
I'll pay you back with Carrie.
Yeah, we're gonna go see Carrie, and hopefully that'll make up for this fiasco.
Yeah. So, that's about it. That's about all I can say about this movie. I guess there's really no other way to end this than...
No! We gotta be tactful about it. Yo, listen up, here's the story about a little guy that lives in the blue world. And oh, what? It fits.